Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViews Nope. And today we're going to get into another Android tutorial video, and this one is going to get into different ways of doing things, not particular, but showing that it's possible to do different methods of getting the same result. And with this, I'm going to be showing my news application, which has different ways of doing the end result. So as far as that goes, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I highly advise you check them out, and a card will be towards the top, which will be linking towards a previous video. Now if you are okay with this and just want to skip ahead, then a card should be appearing towards the top about now, and that should take you to the next video. If that's not up, then that means that the video is probably not out. And keep in mind, these videos come out once to twice a week. So anyways, with this, what we're looking at is some code that I dealt with, and basically it's an application that you shake to make a sound. So with this, there is several ways I got listed here on how to do it. Obviously one of them is not coded out or commented out, but yeah, you can do multiple things to get the end result. Now this is pretty much like real life. There's multiple ways of building a house, but really there's only one or two ways really to put a nail in a piece of wood with a hammer. That's pretty straightforward. So like making a button to be on clickable and to get it changed to text, yeah, there's several ways to do it, but realistically you're just going to do it the same way as everybody else. It's kind of like you using a hammer and nail. But building a house itself, you will have different ways of getting things done, and you might use a different thing than the next person. So shaking the application to make a sound, there's a few ways to do it. Obviously you don't want the application to play the sound multiple times, simply, or at least until the first sound is done. So simply to put it, you need to find a way to stop it from doing it. And there's a few ways of doing it. You can use timers and a few other things. You can use current time on here. You can do change a string or text and read the string or text, and if it's a, I don't know, say for example, where we have it where if the center changes, if it sees a string or text as 0, then don't do anything. Otherwise, do the following. And then when it starts doing the following, one of the first things it does is change it to 0 so it doesn't trigger it again, and then do whatever else. It's pretty straightforward with that. That's one method, and that's not a common method. But you can also see that I used quite a bit of outdated stuff. This is another method. Another is using a lot of this up here. There's other methods on top of this, and that's one thing to keep in mind when you're doing it. Now, why is this important to note? Well, what you're going to do in a workplace when you're writing code is you need to observe the code when you go into a workplace and figure out how people are writing their code. Because the fact of the matter is let's use this example that I gave where you change a string or whatever and read from that and go from there. Well, let's say that that's your favorite method of doing stuff. If someone else, your boss and majority of your coworkers, are not doing things like that, you need to conform your ways to whatever they're doing. Otherwise, someone else will take your place very quickly. It's cruel, but it's the fact. Well, the fact matter here is if you're starting from square one, You also, and given that you're dealing with a team project and you're heading a given section, you need to do several things. You need to make sure that what you're starting isn't going to conflict with something else that's already being made or that's being coded. So you got to talk to your coworkers to make sure that your particular method is not going to interfere, their particular method is not going to interfere with you. And also you need to communicate to make sure that they can understand what you're doing, because the fact of the matter is you might say, well, this is the best method in the world, but if you're the only one in the company, like say for example, if it's more than a 1-person company, if it's like a 15-person company or more, if you're the only person in the company and about 5 people who are in the company and a 15-person company are not coders, so you got 10 people who are coders, and you're literally the only one who knows how to do what you're doing, you might want to reevaluate. You might want to reevaluate the method that you're using and use a method that everybody's familiar with, or at least comfortable with, or at least able to pick up very quickly. Because the fact of the matter is say you get sick, you bust your leg, you, I don't know, go missing for a while, you get kidnapped and go missing for a week or two, then someone has to pick up the pace and go behind you and figure out what you're doing, and they don't need to spend the entire week that you're missing or whatever trying to figure this out. They need to be able to figure it out immediately at first glance, and without really second guessing if possible. And otherwise, what's going to end up happening is, depending on how deep you are into the code, they will or just erase everything and just start from scratch, because it's going to take them longer to figure it out than to just make it a method that everybody already knows. That's a simple fact. Now, yes, of course, they can read the code, figure out where things are going, but the method might be a little over their head, or you're 25% in and people won't understand until you're 75% in, type of thing. So time that you're gone, say you have a kid or whatever, and you're dealing with that, time that you're gone, well, you don't want your code to be scrapped, and you don't want to be out of a job because no one understands what you're doing, and you're a hindrance to everybody because you ain't conforming to methods that are used. Now, of course, when you're working on your own, that's a different story altogether, and you can use whatever method you want under the book. And yeah, a lot of people will say what I'm doing here is not good, but guess what? I'm working on my own, so who gives two craps? The fact of the matter is if I'm working with other people, this would not be the method I would go with. It would have been a different one, and for that fact. So with this, hopefully this has helped you out. Understand there is multiple ways to get in the same result. It's math is the same way. Not even advanced math, is algebra. You will learn that, if you hadn't already learned that, multiple ways to get a certain answer. And life, same way. Science, same way. Multiple ways of doing something to get the end results, and so on. So with that, this has been Craig Bennett, founder and owner of TechViews Nope, and hopefully this video has helped you out, so especially with workplace and stuff like that. We're going to be covering this somewhat lightly, and the reason why I'm doing lightly over the next few videos is mostly because I'm out of videos that and I need to record some. But on top of this is a lot of these methods are depreciated, and for this app, for whatever reason, I've tried like 8 methods, maybe even more, and sometimes something worked, sometimes other times something didn't work. So I ended up using this last method, and it worked, kind of, and it stayed working. Like I'll literally have the timer on and tell it, say, hey, don't do anything for 3 seconds, and then after 3 seconds up, then notice that the sensor's changed. Well, I've had it a few times where I've used several different methods doing that, and what would end up happening is I'll same code, exact same code and everything, had it go on the emulator and on my phone, tried it out, worked fine, then tried it out again, the next day tried it out again, and it didn't work at all. And then an hour looking around without changing the code at all, tried it out again, it kind of worked. So I mean, it was something weird going on, and I settled on this mostly because I got tired of playing around with it and I wanted to move on. And I'm working on another application, by the way. I know this is going outside, but I'm working on another application. I'll probably take you guys into this one, which I'm just starting, and it's going to be on helping people study for stuff in school. But anyways, have a good day.